A former rehab roommate of Nick Reiner has spoken publicly, offering a disturbing account of the years before the December 2025 killings that shocked Hollywood. Nick Reiner, the son of acclaimed director Rob Reiner and photographer Michele Reiner, has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in the stabbing deaths of his parents. Prosecutors allege the killings took place inside the family's Brentwood mansion in the early hours of December 14, 2025. Now, a man who says he shared a room with Nick at a luxury rehabilitation facility when they were teenagers is making explosive claims about the accused son's behavior, mindset, and relationship with his parents. Bombshell claims are already fueling debate about mental health, accountability, and what may have led up to the alleged crime. Here's what he said. The man is Danny Svilar, a 32-year-old Wyoming restaurateur and recovering shopping addict. Danny told the Daily Mail that he and Nick Reiner were both admitted to a high-end rehabilitation center in Malibu in 2009, when they were just 15 years old. According to Danny, the facility cost roughly $60,000 per month and catered to wealthy families seeking treatment for addiction and mental health issues. At the time, Nick was reportedly struggling with drug addiction, including heroin use. Danny says the 2 boys were roommates and formed a brief but intense friendship, spending long nights talking and sharing personal stories. As per the restaurateur, at first Nick was funny and welcoming, but he adds that there was another side of Rob Reiner's son that could just flip. One of Danny's most striking claims involves Nick's relationship with his parents. He says he met Rob and Michele Reiner several times during visits to the facility. According to him, they were deeply involved in their son's treatment and spared no expense trying to help him recover. Despite that, Danny alleges Nick frequently ranted late into the night about how much he hated his parents, particularly his father. He also described Nick as deeply resentful of his father's fame, saying Nick felt oppressed by it rather than privileged. In particularly blunt language, Danny described Nick as arrogant and reckless during their time in rehab, adding that he seemed uninterested in recovery and only wanted to leave the facility to party. It is important to note that these statements reflect Danny's personal recollections and opinions. They are not findings of fact, nor have they been independently verified in court. Danny also alleges he witnessed violent behavior from Nick inside the rehab facility. He claims Nick attacked another teen during their stay and says he personally experienced Nick's aggression after making a comment that triggered an explosive reaction. According to Danny, he once told Nick that he resembled Jet Travolta, the late son of actor John Travolta, who died in January 2009 after suffering a seizure. The comparison allegedly enraged Nick. Danny claims a staff member had to intervene before the situation escalated further. After that incident, their friendship quickly ended. Danny told the Daily Mail that when he first learned Rob and Michele Reiner had been killed, his reaction was immediate and visceral. Nick Reiner was arrested later that day and formally charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Authorities allege he stabbed his parents inside their home before fleeing the scene. Rob Reiner's brutally attacked body was discovered by his daughter, Romy. Michele Reiner was later found dead when authorities arrived at the scene. Nick Reiner has a documented history of mental illness. He had previously been placed under involuntary mental health conservatorship years before his parents' deaths. He has also reportedly been diagnosed with schizophrenia. Despite this, Danny insists Nick was not, quote, insane in the way people may assume. Instead, he says he would strongly oppose any attempt by Nick's legal team to argue insanity in court. Mental illness and criminal responsibility are complex issues that can only be determined through court proceedings, psychiatric evaluations, and evidence presented at trial. As of now, Nick Reiner remains in custody awaiting further court proceedings. Prosecutors have not publicly detailed their full case, and Nick has not entered a final plea. The shocking case, which has stunned Hollywood, continues to raise difficult questions about privilege, mental illness, parental responsibility, and warning signs that may go unseen for years. Danny Svilar's claims add a deeply personal and troubling layer to the public understanding of Nick Reiner's past, but they remain one person's account, not a legal conclusion. Ultimately, the court will determine responsibility, mental capacity, and guilt.